Ciao a tutti, eccoci su una nuova puntata con LMTalks. Questa volta direttamente da Strasburgo andiamo ad intervistare l'alto rappresentante per i rifugiati presso il Consiglio d'Europa. Con lui andremo a discutere del nuovo patto sull'immigrazione e l'asilo presentato il 29 settembre dalla Commissione Europea. Buona visione a tutti. Okay, so the 23rd of September, the European Commission announced the new approach to migration, namely the new pact on migration and asylum. It is an honor for Large Movement Bloc to welcome the Special Representative of the Secretary General of Migration and Refugee of the Council of Europe, Mr. Štefánek Drahoslav. Your high-level profile experience in foreign affairs as diplomat as well as in human rights, being the UN Director General, will strongly help us to make clear some important points of this new pact to our audience. So, firstly, we should come back to 2013 when the Dublin Regulation was created. It has been conceived to manage the asylum seekers' requests and their transfer among the EU member states. Can you tell us something more about its content and the main objective of this migration policy?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this opportunity to exchange views on migration. Concerning Dublin, the roots of Dublin they go as much as back as to 1990 when it was started as a convention. Then it was developed through the EU regulation, Dublin 1, 2, and 3 until the 2013. The rules have kind of developed because the original setting or the original purpose was not working totally well. So the original principle was the first entry country. So when an asylum seeker or migrant enters the country, that country is responsible for dealing with the asylum request. And later with the Dublin 2, Dublin 3, which ended up so far in 2013, have been attempts to reconcile this principle or to mix it with other principles, as for instance family reunification. So that would mean that if you have a new asylum applicant or a new person seeking international protection in EU, they would double check whether he or she has relatives or some connections already established in Europe. But there are also people. It's not only about first entry, but it's about the countries which have issued visas, for instance, for workers or students. And those students, for instance, they apply for whatever reason for asylum. So this is kind of mixture of rules, but they have not been working, I would say, totally well. It's not my position or to judge this or to evaluate this. I should also mention that in 2003, Eurodac database was established to help in the implementation of Dublin regulations, and this is a database which is collecting fingerprints of the all asylum seekers or all people who come to the EU in irregular basis, so not through regular kind of visa or Schengen visa or visa means. This Eurodac, for instance, now there is proposal in the new EU Pact, which was launched on 21st September to collect more data, not only fingerprints but also health data, biometrics, and other data from persons. So we are now witnessing, or will be witnessing, another possible revision of Dublin or of the system.
Okay, so do you think it has been improved, this kind of system, by the European Union? And also the new pact agenda, do you think could silence all the critics that have been raised around this topic? Because there have been a lot of critics, and I think that's why also the process is still on.
I think that the system has not worked totally well. I think it's not fit for what was happening in 2015, 16, and afterwards. Although now I should say that we have much less numbers than we are speaking. 2015, 16, we are speaking about millions. Now we are speaking about hundreds of thousands. So the numbers went down, but still the system seems not fit for such a high number, and that's why EU Commission came with a new pact, new proposal to fix it. There is a gap between the frontline countries and the other countries who are in more I would say comfortable position or situation, who are not facing directly the flows of migrants. And the Commission is trying to reconcile, I think, these two, I would say, camps.
Okay, and what about, for example, the opinion of the so-called flagrant countries who have already criticized this system? And why do you think that some countries are completely against the European migration agenda?
Yeah, because there are flaws in the system. Let's say the Mediterranean, the migrants come. It's difficult even to disembark them. They are on these small boats, or they board the ships of the various NGOs operating there, or commercial ships. Then there is a obligation or to disembark. But what state should take them? Because the states which will usually take them or disembark those people, like Italy, or Malta, or Cyprus, then they see the problem. What is next? Because then they get to hundreds of persons or thousands of persons. And what is next is not totally clear, and there is no, I would say, strict system in the place. What comes next? And then it backfires, because those countries are not eager to disembark the people, and not to speak about the COVID-19. Which is bringing a danger of contamination to the population. So this is all very difficult area, and EU has not found the proper solution. So for me, it's difficult now to come up with that. But it's just to sit at the table and to bring these different groups of states together and to find a solution. So the Commission is trying to do that in a new pact. Yeah, but we will see if it works.
Yeah, we will see.
Yeah.
And what about making focus on the Council of Europe mandate and your own mandate? What's the priorities of your mandate? And also, I think it's really interesting to see your perspective and if you consider this new pact in line with human rights, respect of migrants.
This is actually, this is for us. I see EU pact more in management field, so to manage the migration, and this is completely, if we deal with the EU borders, this is completely the of course the EU prerogative. What we are doing, the Council of Europe, but also in other organizations like UNHCR or Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights in Geneva. We should focus on human rights perspective of individual rights of those people, whether they are migrants or refugees. So the principle of non-refoulement, that's for me underlying principle. No pushbacks, because if you are doing pushbacks, if you have a group of people and you push them back to the country of origin, then you can be in breach of non-refoulement, because you don't know who is in the group. So the people have to be, the asylum requests shall be processed, and then to decide. Not everyone is of course entitled to the protection or to asylum. Maybe I would say maybe it's 10 to 20% of that group. So we can bring to this EU pact, as the Council of Europe, this human rights perspective. We can bring the training of the staff, of the border staff, in disseminating information or the training of what the human rights shall be enjoyed by or entitled by those people who are arriving. And also, I saw in the draft there is alongside these procedures which are envisaged, this 5 days procedure and screening. There is also monitoring. Mm-hmm. So this is where Council of Europe and the organizations can come up, also together with other human rights organizations or watchdogs, and to be engaged in monitoring. My task is not monitoring, but we can provide an assistance or we can, for instance, train the monitors. So I'm very satisfied to see that feature, that this new plan it's counting or is recognizing the monitoring need for the procedures, and then we can screen the procedures whether they are human rights friendly or not. We have the European Convention on Human Rights, which was developed by the court quite extensively, and we have there is 1951 Refugee Convention, which is under the UN or UNHCR auspices.
So the last question is, do you think that the pandemic could, to some extent, be an excuse for the member state to reject migrants, as of course they come back for external borders?
This has been happening. We have seen examples that this has been happening, and COVID-19 has become kind of pretext to not to accept the migrants or refugees. I will tell you my legal logic, which is quite simple. Even in the times of crisis, you have the European Convention and you can derogate from provisions according to Article 15, but you can derogate only from some provisions and according to the court, now I will be speaking totally legally. According to the court, the principle of non-refoulement is contained in Article 2, which is right to life, and Article 3, which is prohibition of torture or degrading treatment and this kind of behavior. So, if we have a group of migrants coming and we will refuse them and we will send them back, we can be in the contradiction with non-refoulement principle. And then the non-refoulement principle, Article 3, for instance, you can't derogate from, even in the times of COVID. So even the COVID-19 can't give a state some red card, I would say, not to process the asylum seekers. There can be of course, some measures taken, but not to close the borders and to say we are not processing the asylums because of COVID-19. So this is my legal logic.
Okay, so it could be an excuse, but not finally an excuse, because law is law and so
yeah. You have the rules, which some rules have to be abide by or respected. Some core rules, and non-refoulement is one of them. Shall be applied even in the times of pandemics. I think this should prevail.
Okay.
Yeah. Of course, I respect the sovereignty of the states and to take all precautionary measures, but I think it's possible with all the sanitation measures and to be in place to reconcile these two things, because I have understanding that, especially for the local politics or mayors of the cities who are just facing suddenly 200 people who disembark on the bank, So, but legally speaking, yes, this principle is absolute and it can't be derogated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.